My name is Mithu Chakraborty. I'm a travel and a street photographer. Street photography is not only the most complicated and complex genre of photography, but also the most exciting area of applying one's presence of mind, patience, intelligence, and perseverance. To me, street photography is the most complex area of creativity. Creating and capturing street moments in a frame is not less than an art to me. Like every other creative field, in street photography also, your heart, your mind, your vision must sync together to create a magic through your lens. There is no dull moment in street, so street never sleeps. That I really admire about street, and that pushed me to go to street every time. Inspired people, the world around me. I get inspired and energized by the people, by the world around me, their daily life, their stories, their day-to-day activity. Everything inspires me. Photography is not only capturing a moment freezing a moment in my lens, but also interweaving various stories into single frame. I enjoy the fun of capturing moment, and which is gone forever. You see this, and make it a lifetime memoir. For me, street photography is a great source of learning. It's like a classroom to me. Like children every day go to school and colleges to learn something new. For me, street is like that. I go to street, come back by learning every day something new. And every time I go there, something new. It's like a never-ending learning process to me. Street, when I go to street, I find like street is a movie set to me. You know, there are different characters playing different roles in front of my eyes. I just need to capture those moments in my frame, however and whatever way I like it. That's really exciting. That's really inspired me to go to street every time. I think it depends on the photographers to interact directly or not to interact directly. I can tell about myself. I do not much interact with my subject when I'm going for candid shoot. Street photography is candid. For me, if it is not candid, it's not street. So if I interact too much, it may lose the candidness, the genuineness of the street. Yeah, sometimes I have to, and it doesn't apply actually when you are going for documenting a series. Then you have to know the background story. You have to go frequently, talk to the subject, know the story behind their daily life, anything what you are going to shoot, going to document about. That doesn't really apply. So you need to interact. But for normal street photography, I do not interact. Challenges I face, many challenges actually I face, and also advantages also there. I feel women have much more advantage than men regarding like a lot of places where men are not always welcome, but women are. So that's advantage. But challenges, yeah, definitely everybody face challenge on street. So I did have also. I'm still facing challenges. I face a lot of questions, and when I see it may be argumentative, then I just leave the place or avoid argument. Lot of times I have to convince them. If people are convinced, then fine for me. I can stay back and take the picture. If they're not convinced, then I just leave the place and move on. I may lose a lot of other candid moments, magical moments in some other place. Why should I waste time here convincing people? So I just do not too much interact. Yeah, that's how I do. Sometimes they ask me whether I'm a journalist, I'm going to document, I'm going to publish it in the newspaper, and no. So I need to convince them that I'm not a journalist. And also I have faced a lot of question and for children photography. That is very sensitive, and this is the place which I definitely, which I really love to, and I try to capture children. But this is not at all easy. Everywhere I face a lot of questionable eyes and query about what I'm taking pictures. I need to convince them that time. Definitely if they're not convinced, then I have to move on and just leave the place. That's how my approach is. Photography came to me as a mere demand of fulfilling my creative pursuits. Since my tender age, young age, I used to be amazed by the pictures taken by various artists. But first of all is my father, who had an indirect influence on me. In my Guwahati home, when we were young, on Sunday mornings, every winter, my Baba used to take picture, family portrait. It was a fun time, and it had definitely had an impact on me. I secretly used to desire of having camera of my own, taking picture, handling camera just like him. Mr. Raghu Raiji is the greatest inspiration, my inspiration to the photography world. Before I knew about anything about photography, I just got hooked into the way of his taking picture, the subject he has chosen all the time. That time I was just a teenager. Moving on, 2010, I had gifted myself my first DSLR, Nikon D90. Started exploring and experimenting the world around me through my lens differently. As a self-taught photographer, I take large interest in traveling the world, exploring and experimenting people, their culture, their festivals, all the time. In 2012, I was fortunate to have a workshop under none other than Mr. David Gibson. I got introduced to street photography. This was my first time I knew what street photography is. 2015. Early 2015, I met Bohra brothers, Vineet Vora and Rohit Vora. They came to Singapore for a workshop, and I had attended that workshop. These meetings have completely changed my perspective towards photography. I have started taking large interest on street photography from that time onwards. My photographs have been published and exhibited in various renowned websites, Instagram pages, print media such as National Geographic, Cheese International Magazine, India-Se Magazine, then Street Photography Artist Italy in their 3rd edition just recently. My photographs have been exhibited. Last year I had on Photo Festival Australia, India Photo Festival, very recently have been exhibited in women street photographers on their first digital exhibition curated by Gulnara Samoilova and Zamena. I feel fortunate to be chosen one of the 50 photographs and photographers around the world. I am the co-curator of a very popular page in Instagram, Hardcore Street Collective. I've been curating that page since its inception. I'm also one of the admins and curator of a street photography collective Instagram page, and also their Facebook page, Street Photography Challenge. I think that's my story in a nutshell. My most favorite for street photography is Varanasi. I keep on going back there for my work, just for visiting there, spending time with myself, with my photography. This place surprises me every time when I visit there. Same old place surprises me every time I visit there. I wish I was born there. I never had to leave that place. Anyway, in Kolkata also there are a lot of places I frequently go. There is Malik Ghat, Flower Market, Pet Market, Kole Market, Kumartuli, Maidan, a lot of places where I love to go back. In Southeast Asia, there are a lot. Hong Kong, fantastic place for street photography. Cambodia, Philippines, Vietnam. Back in Singapore, there are a few places where I go frequently. Chinatown, Little India, my neighborhood wet market, where I go. I find these places give me vibes, vibes of realness, genuineness. And also my birthplace, Guwahati, Assam, Meghalaya. These are also those places are also my most favorite. So as I told you, these places give me always, whenever I go, it gives me a feel of realness, genuineness. That is the reason I want to go back to places. These places are actually, I feel these places are part of me. I belong to these places. All I can say, I discover myself again and again whenever I visit these places. That's why I go to these places. Documentary photography are mostly undertaken for some assignments, mostly. These are pre-decided subjects which you are going to explore and experiment on. Street photography is not pre-decided. You have to go out to shoot and you have to capture whatever is happening in front of your eyes. Architectural street travel photography is more of a macro. You are including in your frame people, background, all other subjects in your large frame, and it gives a viewer good insight of a location. On the other hand, street photography is more of a micro. They say you can smell a city with a good series of street photographs. So as you go closer to the subject, you are able to capture more of emotions, expressions, human conditions in your frame. And mind it, this is all happening all in real time. These are all candid. So it gives you a real picture, a more genuine picture in your frame. So I think this is the most important criteria in street photography, and that definitely makes it stand apart from other genre. Practice, practice, and practice. As it says, practice makes you perfect. It gives you more confidence, a better frame whenever you capture street. Have patience, observe more. As you observe more, you learn more about street. With the practice, we should also make it a habit of reading photography books, watching interviews of well-known photographers. That will give you insight about street photography, gives you the path of how to approach, show you the path actually, how to approach on street. And if possible, attend a photo walk, workshop with experienced photographers. That's it. For me, street photography is a real-time picture. Actions, emotions, expressions are all genuine, where you are basically telling story through your image. Post-processing doesn't have a major role to play in my picture. Just a minimal work on brightness, contrast, sharpness, and sometimes cropping, that's it. But editing the picture has a major role to play. In street photography, editing means sorting out the good pictures from thousands of pictures from your album. So, sieving out the cream of the pictures from the thousands of pictures, for me is a major challenge. I find it so challenging. I used to avoid it. But taking up challenge is also fun. So I gradually started enjoying it. And thanks to the pandemic, I am having ample time to go through my archives and sorting out the pictures. I'm really enjoying it. See, all the best of street techniques may not have the comfortable experience on street. As we say, if you are not close enough, that's not street enough. So getting closer to your subject may not give you comfortable experience all the time, but surely may give you the satisfactory result. And if you ask about camera setting, that also varies depending on the location, light condition at that time. Normally under bright sunlight outdoor shoot, I prefer to keep it ISO from 400 to 800, shutter speed 500 to 1000, aperture f8, and and focal length varies from it. It also depends on the location, the situation. So it may vary from 18 mm, 24 mm to 35 mm, whatever condition at that time when I carry, which lens I carry at that point of time, it depends. See, these three words starts with letter B. Has major role to play in my life throughout, which is personal life, professional life, and passions in life. That is always there. And if you are juggling among these three, you have got to know how to manage it for sure. Yep, then I think, and also it's very important, if you're passionate about what you do, managing becomes easy. So that is it is important also to have a family support. What you do, mostly for your passion. In my case, my photography journey, for my career in designing jewelry and apparel, then my involvement in theaters, I am fortunate to have immense support from my family. That is always there. Then it comes to your time management. You have got to know how to manage your time. You have to know what you do when. For me, I used to keep my photography. I used to go in weekends. Go out for photography in weekends. And and day job is there, and I used to look after I come back from office, I used to look after my family, my kids. And when rehearsal starts for theatre, it lasts long, from 3 months to 6 months, and it happens always in the weekends mostly. And that time I shift my photography, going out for photography in weekdays. That is there. That's how I used to manage. For personal life, I don't really have to look after my kids. Now they have grown up. Like I used to. But for my professional, the work tour or photography trips, I really plan. Still now, I plan much in advance, and I plan it with my husband. When he is in station, not traveling, then only I plan my trips. It is very important, one of us to be here at home, so one of us can leave home and can feel relaxed and relieved. So that is there. But one thing for sure, everything becomes smooth if you love what you do. That's what I can say. Perfect shot. I don't think in street photography there's any term called perfect shot really exists. Rather, every picture has ample room for improvement. Rather, I can say I have some favorite shots, definitely. Maybe they definitely, because the favorite because they have some background stories they might have taken in any adverse condition, or definitely they are. You may feel they are close to your heart due to many reasons. Here I want to show you one of my pictures, which was taken in 2016 Pushkar Fair. In that fair, I actually injured my leg badly, very badly. And one fine morning, while I am coming back from dunes, I found I couldn't walk anymore. I have excruciating pain that day, and somehow I managed to come to. I was limping literally. Somehow I could come to hotel, and with the help of medicine, I could go around. I could stay back in Pushkar, and from there I went to the cover Dev Deepavali in Varanasi, and then back to Singapore. And definitely I know it led to more damage, my leg, and it led to 3 months long treatment and physiotherapy. So this is the picture which I want to show you, which has been taken that night when the day I injured my leg. I was lucky enough that the dancer actually was showing her tricks just in front of me, and I couldn't move. And I couldn't move around due to my pain. So I was sitting in a same place, and I just got the frame. And luckily, I want to share one thing also, that luckily it has been awarded by the jury and in a Pushkar Fair contest. I think it's first or second runner. That is really rewarding. And from that day, from that picture, it is really close to my heart. And from that picture, one thing for sure that I learned, that never give up. The second picture has been, I have chosen from my recent self-portrait, self-series, which is called A Boxed Life. A self-portrait series I have been working since last year during COVID pandemic lockdown. So I started exploring into my inner world, my home, more than ever. When outside world shuts door at you, you have no other way to go. You have no other way to go outside, but looking back to your inner world, inner self. So that's how it happened to me. Though human lives have been boxed within the four walls, I always think that COVID made us stay back home, not going outside. But in my mind, it always plays that locked at home is not equivalent to locked mind. So every time, every portrait actually, it reflects, it portraits that the different emotional, psychological state of mind. It's a process of self-reflection, self-realization, connection between your inner and the outer world of emotional, psychological, spiritual existence. So this is the one, and these are the lot of pictures I have taken in this series. Lesson learned from this series that obviously, as I told you, locked at home is not equivalent to locked mind. So your creative mind always should, you should always look for something new, and your creative mind always should look for options given to you in any situation. Your imagination should, shouldn't have full stop. I rather say life is not always a happy moment, happy journey. It's a journey of lots of ups and downs. So accept life as it comes, and make something new out of the situation given to you, arrives at you. I think that's what my take from pandemic also. Well, our life is as uncertain as street is. How we accept street as it is, we should accept our life as it comes. Life is not a bed of roses. It has a lot of ups and downs, as we can see in pandemic. But we are not losing hope. We are fighting with it. We are fighting back again and again. We are having hope for the better future. I have also learned to be more observant. For developing observation, you need to be more patient. Street has also taught me to appreciate simple things in life.